Ladies and gentlemen, many of us go through life hoping for the appearance of a guiding figure, someone to light our way like a lighthouse in the dark, offering us the direction we so often long for. But as we ride the waves of life's highs and lows, we gradually come to a deeper truth. Some of the most valuable lessons don't come from grand teachings or profound moments. They often come from things we once deemed small, even insignificant. Just as essential oils need time to fully infuse a perfume, we too must go through a maturing process to truly absorb the wisdom of life. Here are 4 truths that become clearer and more meaningful as we grow older. I invite you to reflect on them with me. First, life, like an EKG graph, isn't meant to be a straight line. If it were, wouldn't that signify the end? Everyone knows that life doesn't move forward in a straight, smooth path. We're all bound to face ups and downs, victories and failures. While no one desires hardship, it's often through challenges that life finds its deeper meaning. In fact, a life without struggle can feel surprisingly empty. Who among us can say with confidence that their journey has been perfect, free of obstacles? Probably no one, because we all carry our own burdens and face unique challenges. And since life is long, difficulties won't just knock once, they'll visit us repeatedly. The key is not whether hardship will come, but whether we have the inner strength to face it head-on. Some people choose to run from their problems, leaning on others to solve them. But outside of our closest family, how many people truly care enough to help without expecting something in return? And even then, we can't depend on others forever. Sooner or later, each of us must confront our own struggles, because it's through those very struggles that we grow. Don't chase a life that's always rosy. Even the smoothest path eventually leads to rough terrain. No matter how talented or wealthy you are, you will have your share of challenges. Everyone goes through pressure, difficulty, and pain, just at different levels. Even those who have found great success will tell you they've battled through adversity. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the resilience to steer through life's storms. Cultivating a strong, courageous spirit is essential if you want to live a fulfilling and meaningful life. When faced with hardship, stay calm and face it with confidence. A positive mindset helps you see that most problems don't leave permanent scars, they just trigger different emotional responses. A life too easy, without obstacles, rarely brings deep joy or satisfaction. Remember, life is a constant process of effort and growth. Comfort zones and rose-covered paths don't shape character, adversity does. Once you've overcome difficulty, you'll find yourself stronger and more composed when the next storm comes. Flowers don't bloom all year round, and accepting that truth can make life far more beautiful. Second, anything that can be bought with money has an expiration date. There's a common belief that, if something can't be bought with money, it can be bought with a lot of money. But that mindset only makes sense to those who put money above all else. In reality, anything that money can buy is temporary. On the other hand, the most meaningful things in life can't be purchased, not even with all the money in the world. They must be earned through sincerity, kindness, persistence, patience, daily effort, and a positive way of living. Here are 5 things that money, no matter how much, can never buy. 1. Money can't buy character. Character is a blend of innate traits, personality, upbringing, and life experiences. It's unique, and it can't be faked. You see a person's true character in how they speak, behave, and react, especially in emotionally charged or unexpected situations. A petty or small-minded person may pretend to be generous, but when personal interests are involved, they can't imitate the open-heartedness of a true gentleman. An uneducated person might mimic elegant speech, but it only makes them look awkward, not refined. 2. Money can't buy love or genuine relationships. It may buy you a beautiful partner to show off at parties, but it won't buy you a spouse who'll stay by your side through thick and thin. Money won't earn you your children's love or respect if you spend all your time chasing wealth instead of being present for them. It may surround you with people at parties and gatherings, but not a true friend who'll stand by you when you're in trouble. 3. Money can't buy time. Whether you're poor or a billionaire, We all have just 24 hours in a day. Even if you offered $1 million, you couldn't buy a single extra second. Beautiful moments pass, and once they're gone, they don't return. You can't rewind time to fix past mistakes. No one knows when their time will come, maybe tomorrow, maybe decades from now. Don't waste precious time on meaningless tasks or people. Don't let regret be your only reward for ignoring what truly matters. 4. Money can't buy wisdom or real-world experience. Sure, with enough money you can build the world's largest library, open top-tier schools, and hire the best professors to teach you. But learning and applying knowledge is up to you, and no one else can do it for you. 5. Money can't buy what people really think of you. You can pay people to write flattering articles, books, or even make a reality show glorifying your life. But if you pay someone to speak about you, what you hear is only what you want to hear. No one is foolish enough to take your money and still tell you the unfiltered truth. Real praise is only valuable when it comes freely, without a price tag. That's why you should invest daily in what truly lasts: your knowledge, your experience, your mindset, and your soul. These are the treasures money can never match. Thirdly, people often make mistakes not because they lack knowledge, but mainly because they have the mindset of thinking they're wise. There's a story about a truck driver who regularly made deliveries to a mental hospital. One day, as he was about to leave, he noticed that one of his tires was flat while parked near a storm drain. He jacked up the truck and took off the damaged tire to put on the spare. Suddenly, all 4 lug nuts holding the tire fell into the drain. He panicked, not knowing what to do. Just then, a patient walked by and asked why he looked so troubled. The driver thought to himself, if I can't figure this out, what could this crazy guy possibly do? So, he briefly explained the situation with a hint of frustration. The patient smiled and said, "You don't even know how to handle something this simple. No wonder you're just a truck driver." Surprised to hear this from someone in a mental hospital, the driver listened as the patient continued, "Here's what you do. Take 1 lug nut from each of the other 3 tires and use them to temporarily secure the spare tire. Then, carefully drive to the nearest shop to buy new lug nuts to replace the missing ones." Simple, right, my friend? The driver was deeply grateful for the quick solution and asked, "If you're so smart, why are you in a mental hospital?" The patient replied, "My friend, I'm here because I'm crazy, not because I'm stupid." Dear everyone, nowadays, it's no surprise that many people share the same mindset as the truck driver, believing that others are less capable than themselves. This way of thinking stems from wisdom overshadowed by an oversized ego, leading to illusions about their own abilities. In this world, some people with only a little education become arrogant too quickly, always considering themselves the best. This is a harmful sign of illusion of power. On the other hand, those who accomplish great things, the wise figures throughout history, the longer they work and live, the more they recognize their own shortcomings and feel how small they truly are. Keep improving your knowledge and skills every day. Never assume that you know everything. What you know might only be a tiny fraction of what others have learned. Knowing your limits and understanding your place in the world will help you set realistic goals to move forward, rather than living in illusions and standing still. Experience shows that a little knowledge often breeds arrogance, while abundant knowledge leads to humility. That's why the empty ears of grain stand tall and proud, while the full, heavy ears bow down low. Only with a humble heart, a thirst for learning, and without ever becoming complacent, can a person reach the highest peaks in their career and life. Fourthly, when we treat others well, we shouldn't expect them to respond in the same way. Have you ever wondered why people who were once very close can become distant? Why those you once loved might sometimes treat you worse than strangers? That's why talking a lot when you just meet someone doesn't mean you're close. And caring gestures or gifts don't guarantee true friendship. Genuine sincerity is proven over time, through storms and hardships faced together. Just because you love and treat others well doesn't mean you'll receive the same in return. Why wait for others to treat you well, only to feel hurt when they don't? The truth is, apart from family and close relatives, no one is obligated to treat you kindly. Being kind to others is your choice, how they respond is theirs. You have the power to love yourself and create your own happiness instead of waiting for others to bring it to you. Some people only reveal their true sincerity after sharing joys and sorrows, hardships and challenges with you. Someone who truly cares will always hold on to that heart, no matter what. Someone who approaches you with fake sincerity will eventually change. And no matter how others treat you, you must keep living. You can't keep dwelling on sorrow. If the sincerity you give only brings disappointment, it's best to withdraw it. Life is full of many people and many things worthy of your attention. Don't stay sad over someone who treats you poorly, and don't expect others to treat you as well as you treat them. There is a saying, without experience, there can be no true understanding. Indeed, only through stumbling do we grow, only through love do we comprehend pain, only through going through life can we deeply reflect and draw valuable lessons. Whether in suffering or happiness, everything we have experienced ultimately becomes seeds that point toward the future. May each of us diligently gather and preserve those seeds, and plant them with our own hands on a bright morning so that life ahead will always reap success and happiness. Dear everyone, people often compare youth to addition, everyone rushing to add more things, houses, cars, wealth, trips. But as we grow old, we must learn to subtract. Because only by learning to let go at the right time can your heart open wider and truly feel simple happiness. Living simply means simplifying everything, both within your soul and outside, without letting emotions and thoughts be controlled or disturbed by external factors. A mind free from distractions, living a life of freedom and ease. In old age, it is best to let go of 3 things as soon as possible to increase your blessings. Only by learning to release at the right moment and maintaining a peaceful mindset can you truly be happy. Please listen and reflect. First, let go of greed for fame, fortune, and wealth. Having enough money is good, but more is not always better. Don't become so obsessed with chasing after wealth or material desires that you overlook the true beauty of life. After all, in the twilight years, simple happiness, being alive each day, healthy, and able to enjoy life, is far more important than any material possessions. However, in reality, many people who have good lives still feel dissatisfied. They constantly pursue an image of luxury, living in grand villas, driving expensive cars, enjoying delicacies, believing that's what true happiness is. But if you pause and truly look at your present life, feeling and appreciating it deeply, you will realize how fortunate you are, still agile at this age, free from illness, with well-behaved and grown children. That is the greatest happiness. Let go of greed for fame, fortune, and wealth, because the more one desires, the heavier the burden on the heart. A greedy person who never knows when to stop or be satisfied will never recognize or cherish what they already have. As the saying goes, even with thousands of acres of land, one still only eats 3 meals a day. With thousands of rooms, one still only sleeps on a bed a few feet wide. In old age, the simpler your life, the easier it is to feel and experience the joy and beauty of living. The remaining years will be filled with ease, peace, and happiness. Second, let go of resentment. Some people, even in old age, still hold on to resentment and cannot forgive those who have caused them pain and suffering. They repeatedly bring up past grievances with blame, torment, and anger. In reality, holding on to hatred only erodes yourself. Those who harbor resentment see darkness and bitterness everywhere. Their minds are filled with narrow, poisonous thoughts, living only to bring others down, causing immense suffering. Yet the harsh truth is, the one who feels worst is themselves. The more you harbor resentment, the more your distress grows daily. Keeping grudges only makes you more tired, tense, and hurt. Remember, resentment is a temporary emotion, it cannot nourish you or bring good things. So what is the use of stubbornly holding on to it? Everything in life changes, no matter how much pain you endure, it will eventually pass. Let your eyes appreciate the good things, don't let them hold the dark fire of hatred. Everyone has flaws, that is what makes us human. You have your flaws, others have theirs. Therefore, if someone treats you poorly, do not resent or seek revenge. Be compassionate, open your heart, and let go. The essence of each person is kindness. To let go of resentment, the best way is to learn to forget. Because when we cannot forget, we fall into a vicious cycle of sadness, frustration, and hatred throughout life. If one can forgive but not forget, then it is not true forgiveness. That person still has not truly released resentment and still carries a heavy burden. An American author once said, "Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door of resentment and the handcuffs of hatred." It is the power to break the chains of bitterness and the shackles of selfishness. Having gone through all the bitterness and joys of life, at the twilight years, you should understand that everything in life happens with its own fate. Everything happens for a reason. Those who love you teach you how to cherish, those who hate you teach you how to forgive, those who respect you teach you humility, those who oppress you teach you how to rise up. Life is not suffering, it is simply how we perceive life. Third, let go of complaints about life. One common mindset in old age is frequent complaining and blaming. Every day, we spend too much time grumbling about whatever displeases us. We endlessly lament and constantly express dissatisfaction. However, remember that complaining does not solve any problems, it only exhausts you, breaks your spirit, and leads to blaming others. Complaining ages you quickly, and more importantly, steals away your moments of inner peace. Therefore, stop complaining, stop blaming, to shed unnecessary burdens in life. In essence, life is a state of mind. When you face life with optimism and positivity, you live more joyfully and happily. People cannot control what happens to them, but they can always choose how to respond. Life cannot always be as good as you wish. Your mood is the key factor that determines your happiness in old age. Those who frequently complain, no matter how good their life is, never feel happy. People filled with negative energy instantly grumble and complain at every setback, only becoming more unhappy. Meanwhile, positive and optimistic people can turn bad into good. Once you let go of complaints about life, you will suddenly realize happiness is not difficult. The most effective way to change your life and mindset in old age is to stop complaining. Social psychologist Leon Festinger once said, 10% of life is made up of what happens to you, the other 90% is determined by how you react to it. Whose life is always smooth sailing, everything going their way. Let go of complaints and stop whining, and you will see life is full of wonderful things. It will be truly meaningful if you use your precious time in life to improve and transform your old age with positive energy. Fourth, let go of the torment of the past. In old age, people often tend to dwell on memories and torment themselves with regrets like, if only time could turn back. Or, if only I could change this or that from the past. But life is essentially a continuous process of releasing the past and moving toward the future. There is a story about a man who once lived carefreely in a wealthy family. However, a sudden misfortune struck, wiping out his wealth and breaking up his family, forcing him to live a hard, poor life. From a life of luxury, after just one night losing everything, he gradually fell into depression and despair, constantly drowning in the glow of his past. One day, passing by a flooded wheat field, he saw a farmer plowing the land and curiously asked, "The crops are all ruined, why are you still plowing?" The farmer looked up and replied, "The crops are gone, but the field is still here." "Don't you feel discouraged or sad about losing the harvest?" the man pressed. The farmer answered, "Of course I was sad at first. But then I realized that sadness won't bring the crops back, nor will it feed me or clothe me in the future." The farmer's words awakened him to the truth. Obsessing over the past only makes a person dissatisfied with the present and unable to see the future clearly. No matter what happened, the past is gone and cannot be changed, it can only be accepted. The boat of life cannot carry too many attachments or burdens. The suffering from the past combined with present worries will make your later years neither peaceful nor happy. Don't blindly bury yourself in the past. Dare to let go of what has passed and move forward with confidence. The farther you go, the more your pain will fall behind. Fifth, let go of time and your need to control it. No one can escape the cycle of aging and the laws of nature. In the twilight years, spend more time with your elderly parents and cherish those moments together. At the same time, don't worry too much about your children's future. They have their own paths. As long as their conscience is clear, their future remains open. By the time we reach old age, we have experienced the impulsiveness of youth, the ups and downs of middle age, and what remains is calmness and openness. Don't just expect others to give you time and attention while forgetting that everyone's time is limited. Nor should you demand your children give you absolute time and care, because they have their own lives and responsibilities. The older you get, the more you should consider letting go of controlling others' time. Instead, use your precious time to enjoy your later years, nurturing love and connection with those close to you. Only then will your old age not pass by in vain. None of us can stop the flow of time. Birth, aging, sickness, and death are inevitable laws that everyone must face. When we cannot change our age, what we need is to change our perspective, to adapt to each stage of life. In the great river of life, each of us is like a boat with full sails. The more baggage, things we refuse to let go, we carry, the harder it is for the boat to move forward. The more a person lets go, the richer they become spiritually. Letting go of the ego allows us to live a better life. Letting go of desires lets us find our true selves. Letting go of pain allows us to be reborn. Letting go of distracting thoughts helps us live freely and peacefully. As the saying goes, life isn't complicated, it's just that people trouble themselves. Ultimately, time that passes can never be recovered. The only thing we can do is let go and fully live each moment. For the final part of today's video, Life Philosophy would like to share a short story titled Mother's Coin. My parents divorced when I was very young. That childhood was far from easy. I lived with my mother at my maternal grandparents' house. Mom was a seamstress in a tiny neighborhood, and it took 20 minutes by boat just to get to town. After my parents separated, Mom worked hard to raise me so I wouldn't lack anything. She worried that I was emotionally deprived compared to other kids. My dad was a city man. Sometimes when he came to visit, I would cling tightly to his neck and not let go. After he left, I'd stand at the end of the alley crying so hard that Mom cried too. She just couldn't hold back her feelings. Since I was little, Dad spoiled me, carrying me everywhere on his shoulders, letting me sleep on his chest at night, and making me wait for him before eating. I began to resent Mom. Why did she make me come here and be away from Dad? Back then, I was naive and didn't understand the hardships Mom silently endured, things I never truly understood. One day, the teacher assigned us an essay, Describe Your Family Dinner. I started writing about dinners when Dad and Mom were both there. How Dad always picked out all the fish bones and fed me, and how Mom tried to pack my rice tightly so I could eat more. But then I remembered and wrote, my family dinner today no longer has Dad. It's been a long time since Dad visited me, then he left again. Dad doesn't want to eat with Mom and me anymore. That day, the teacher asked me to stay after class. I don't know why, but her eyes were wet. She gently stroked my hair and later spoke privately with Mom. I saw Mom cry. Grandma cried too. That afternoon, Mom didn't eat dinner and just lay quietly in her room, maybe she was sick. I begged my mom to buy me a new bicycle so I could get to school more easily. But she said, the old bike still works fine, just use it. I insisted, wanting a new one just like Wu Tian, my neighbor's youngest daughter. Mom was silent and told me she didn't have that kind of money. I got upset, stomped into my room, and refused to talk to her for a whole week. Then one afternoon, unexpectedly, Mom took the boat to town and came back with a brand new bike, shiny and exactly like Wu Tian's. I loved it, stroking the handlebars, sitting on it, grinning from ear to ear. That evening, Mom was shelling some Malabar spinach to make crab soup. I noticed she wasn't wearing her earrings anymore. She smiled and said, they got tight, so I took them off and put them away. In this small neighborhood, everyone was poor, and hardly anyone ordered custom-made clothes. And when they did, they haggled and complained about the price. My school expenses kept growing. Mom started taking on extra work every day, weaving palm leaves. She cut and prepared green leaves, stringing them into roofing mats. Her hands became rough and calloused, growing bigger over time. Her back stooped and curved. Grandma held Mom's hand, heartbroken. Tears ran down her old, weathered face. As I grew up, I slowly understood our situation. I felt ashamed in front of my friends. They all had dads, I didn't. My dad was always busy with work and visited me less and less. I was quiet and distant whenever he came around. I saw myself as unlucky, losing out compared to my friends. In my teenage years, I wanted to keep up with the crowd, to have this phone or that, to wear makeup and dress up. But Mom kept bending over, weaving each leaf, fixing every shirt and pair of pants for customers, saving every penny to buy things for me. Still, the money she earned could only afford me the most ordinary things. One day, I threw my phone in the corner, angry. Everyone else has fancy phones, and Mom only buys me this old clunker. Mom looked sad. I threw a tantrum and stormed out, riding my bike to a friend's house. That night, I refused to go home. Meanwhile, Mom searched everywhere for me, rain or shine. The next day, Mom fell seriously ill. And I felt no remorse, as if it were all her fault. Why didn't Mom earn as much as the other moms? I thought bitterly. Mom picked up my phone, put the battery back in, wiped off the dust, and left it on my desk. That just made me even more annoyed. I shoved it off the table and cracked the screen. That afternoon, Mom borrowed money from Ms. Sao and bought me a brand new, fancy phone. Meanwhile, she carefully picked up every broken piece of plastic from my old phone, bought glue, and fixed it back together, saying with a smile, "At least I have something to call you with." I didn't really care, just having the new phone to keep up with my friends was enough for me. I threw away shirts that were just a little worn, but Mom's sunshade shirt was full of patches and mended stitches everywhere. I told her to throw it out many times, but she kept saying, "If it still works, why throw it away?" Then Grandma passed away, leaving Mom and me alone in the cold house. I found every excuse to hang out with friends, study groups, gatherings, leaving Mom all by herself. Sometimes I even said I'd sleep over at a friend's to get to school early. Mom would quietly accept, remind me of this and that. My friends and I would stay out all night and sleep in the next day, skipping school. But Mom sat every day weaving palm leaves by the porch, watching the door for me to come home. Sometimes I caught sight of her standing there. I'd quickly turn off my phone and pretend to be asleep because I didn't want her asking questions or talking. She'd repeat the same old stories about when I was little. She would quietly open my door, stroke my hair, kiss my cheek gently, then quietly leave, closing the door behind her. I'd scowl. I'm not a toddler anymore. I decided not to go to college and just work. Mom tried to persuade me, "Keep studying, I can handle it. I've taken care of you for 12 years, what's another 4 or 5 years? I was fed up and registered to take the college entrance exam in a city far away. On the day I left for the city, Mom packed me food, drinks, all kinds of snacks. I was annoyed. "It's not like I'm going into exile, Mom." She just smiled quietly and packed the bag. During the break, Mom opened my lunchbox for me to eat. I stubbornly refused. She coaxed me until I ate a little. She ate the rest herself. I tried to sit far away from her when she ate, pretending like I didn't know her. She knew it, but still ate quietly, as if afraid people would judge her for being a simple country mom. I passed the university entrance exam. Mom was overjoyed. She saved some chickens for Tet, Lunar New Year, made a feast for our ancestors, then laid out a big meal for me and my friends to feast on. After everyone finished eating, Mom took the leftover wings and bones, stewed them with pickled vegetables, and ate them with rice. She loved that, said it was delicious. I only went home once every 2 or 3 months. Mom kept encouraging me, "Keep studying, I can handle it." But I started to get into partying, making up all kinds of excuses for money to have fun and eat out. Life in Saigon was so hectic, I forgot about Mom back home. One day, Mom showed up at my rented room. "Why did you come up here, Mom?" "To visit you." It's been 4 months since you came home. Why are you always late? I have night classes. You don't have to come all the way up here. I'm just glad you're safe. I'll go home early tomorrow. Mom came into my room and started cleaning all around. When I was exhausted and collapsed to sleep, Mom tidied up and then lay down next to me. Early the next morning, I hurriedly woke her up and took her to the bus station so I could be free of the debt. A few days later, I ran out of money and it wasn't yet time for Mom to send me more. Reluctantly, I dragged myself back home. When I got there, I found out Mom had been selling banh mi at the market in the morning. I blew up in anger when I saw her carrying a basket of leftover banh mi back home. I shouted, "Are we that broke that you have to sell banh mi now?" Mom said quietly, "It's just a little extra income. Not many people are sewing clothes these days." I snapped, "Are you planning to make the grandchildren pay for this house? How can you do this and expect me to hold my head high? People will look at me and say, that's the kid of the banh mi seller and leaf weaver." Oh my God. Mom slapped me. It was the first time she ever hit me. Her hands started trembling. "I sell banh mi, I weave leaves to feed you through all those years of school, and now you repay me with this. When I gave birth to you, it was a hard birth, a struggle between life and death just to have you here. I bent my back to pay for you to chase after flashy things. You don't have a dad, so I was afraid you'd fall behind your friends. I gave you education, and this is how you treat me. Who told you to be born into this world to suffer poverty?" After that, I grabbed my suitcase and ran to the bus station, tears streaming down my face. I caught a bus back to Saigon, vowing to work and never take Mom's money again just to avoid her scolding. That night, Mom called me 10 times. I didn't answer. I turned my phone off like she and I were strangers now. I changed my boarding place and got a job washing dishes at a small eatery. The work was nothing like I imagined. After each break for the factory workers, I washed dishes until my hands went stiff. If I couldn't serve food fast enough, the boss would yell at me like slapping water on my face. But I endured it all just to earn enough money for rent, food, parking fees, and all the little expenses. When I earned my own money, I began to feel the true weight of cash in society. Their money was earned with patience, sweat, and endless hard work, bowing my head when unfairly scolded. It wasn't like Mom's money, just open your hand, and there it was. Mom's money was paid with sweat and tears. Thinking back, I realized the money she gave me was so huge that even if I died now, I couldn't pay her back. I wanted to go home, to see Mom. But remembering all the hurt I caused her, my legs stopped at the bus station in the Mekong Delta. I was scared of something, so scared. Today, I lost my job at the eatery. The boss said she wouldn't pay me a penny since I quit abruptly. I was so discouraged I sat in a park watching the streets. Time dragged on. Being independent was so hard. I started missing Mom terribly. I wondered how she was doing, if she looked for me, if she missed me. She must have cried a lot. Thinking of that, tears streamed down uncontrollably. A little boy came running up, clothes messy, eyes and nose dirty. "Got anything to eat, mister?" "I'm hungry." "Yeah, wait a bit." "Want some banh mi?" He silently nodded. I reached into my pocket, only 2,000 dong left. I held my hunger and bought him a thick banh mi. He sat down right there, devouring it with gusto. I felt sorry for him. "Where are your parents that let you get this hungry?" He said nothing, just kept eating. Halfway through, he tore off a piece, carefully wrapped the rest, and tied it up tight. I asked, "Don't you like the banh mi? Why don't you finish it?" "No, sir. I'm saving it for my mom." "Your mom? Where's she?" "Over there." I followed the boy to a corner of the park. There lay a middle-aged woman, worn and tired, breathing heavily on a large plastic sheet. "Oh, Lum's back," she said weakly. "Yes, Mom, I brought you some banh mi." "Don't bother, son, I'm not hungry. I've already eaten half and I'm full." "You eat the rest, Mom. Tomorrow I'll ask for more money to buy medicine for you." The woman reached for the banh mi and ate it eagerly. The boy sat beside her, still looking hungry but staring off elsewhere. I suddenly felt so small, so incredibly small compared to this illiterate, wandering kid's filial love. While I had been studying at fancy schools, my heart ached. I have a mother too. And she gave me more than most. Yet I lived only to demand, never to give back. At that moment, I decided to call home. 1 ring, 2 rings. I waited silently, my hands trembling. Hello? Mom, it's me. Oh my God, where are you? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have hit you that day. Come home, I miss you so much. Mom. I know I've been selfish and ungrateful since I was little, never thinking about you. Mom, this world isn't kind to me like you are. When I hold money I earn myself, I finally understand how hard you've worked. Mom. I'm sorry. She was so happy. Almost 20 years have passed, but it's never too late. As long as you come back, that's all that matters. I even went looking for your dad to ask about you. He worries about you too. Mom, tomorrow I'll come home with you. Thank you all for listening. Goodbye and see you next time.